Paul from the Bible tells us that we are joint heirs with Christ, heirs of God's goodness. If we believe in Jesus Christ, we are heirs, heirs along with Christ. And so, claim your inheritance. It's time to claim your inheritance. Some of us are living beneath the inheritance that is ours as believers. We're living lives without love, without joy, without peace, without the benefits and blessings that God has for all of us because we have not claimed our inheritance. I want to suggest three things to you today. Three things that will help you to claim your inheritance. The first is be led by the Spirit of God. Some of us are led by the last book we read, or the last idea we heard about, or the last preacher we listened to, or the last friend that we talked to. I want to suggest to you to be led by the Spirit of God. Listen for the voice of God and what God is saying to you. Author Elizabeth Alves says it this way: we hear three voices in our heads, three voices in our hearts. We hear our own voice speaking to us, telling us to do this or that. We hear the voice of the enemy trying to destroy us, telling us to go in the wrong direction. Then we hear the Holy Spirit speaking to us, leading and guiding us into all truth. I want to suggest to you that we should be led by the Holy Spirit. Second thing I want to suggest to you is this: acknowledge and affirm that you are God's child. You are a child of God. You belong to God. You are His child. And as a child of God, you deserve everything that God promises. Jesus made many promises to us. Jesus promised that whatever we ask in His name, His Father would provide it. He promised to make for us a home in heaven, a house not made with hands. He promised that He would never leave us or forsake us. He promised to send us His Holy Spirit. He promised us the gifts of the Spirit, the multiple gifts of the Holy Spirit. And He promised that in the fullness of time, He was going to crack that sky, and He was going to come back again, and He was going to claim all of His own. These are the promises of God. And as a child of God, those promises are yours. Those promises belong to you. Affirm and acknowledge that you are a child of God. Then I want to suggest this to you: live in the legacy that has been left to you. God has left an amazing legacy for you in the gift of God's Son, Jesus Christ, and in all of the promises that Jesus made to you that are yours. You have an amazing legacy. Live in that legacy. Walk in that legacy. Don't act as if you have nothing. You are not to walk as if you do not have hope, or live as if you do not have the gifts. All of it belongs to you. It's your legacy. Your legacy is rich. Your legacy is phenomenal. And you should live in that legacy. So, if you want to claim your inheritance today, be led by the Spirit of God. Acknowledge and affirm that you are God's child, and live in the legacy that has been left to you. Live in that legacy, because the legacy is yours. It's yours today, and it's yours every day. And you can pass it on. You can pass that legacy on to others. Every time you share the gospel of Jesus Christ with somebody else, you're passing it on. Every time you share the love of Christ with somebody else, you're passing it on. That's your legacy. You can live in it. Claim your inheritance. Don't wait. Do it today, because it's yours.